Broken hip isn't just a broken bone. It's a death sentence for 40% of people. And the truth is, it's entirely preventable. But nobody's talking about prevention. They're talking about managing decline. Today I'm going to show you the statistics that they don't want you to see. Why hip fractures are life-threatening and how to prevent them entirely through muscle maintenance. The statistics in 2 minutes. 10% of people die within 1 month of a hip fracture. 33% die within 12 months of a hip fracture. 50% of people experience long-term loss of independence. Break down why these numbers are so high compared to other injuries. Hip fracture is uniquely deadly. To explain the age factor, 60 years plus are most at risk. Now, why hip fractures kill? Physical complications, bedsores, pneumonia, blood clots, further muscle loss, total loss of locomotion, bedbound, psychological effects, anxiety, lost confidence, depression, and fear of falling again. This is a vicious cycle, a cascade effect. One complication leads to another. So, what's the root cause? Muscle loss. 6 to 8% of people meet resistance training guidelines. That means 92% are losing muscle every year. Now, muscle protects bone density, and bone density builds along with muscle. Muscle maintains balance. It provides strength to recover from falls. Without muscle, bones become weaker, poor balance, no recovery capacity. So, the prevention protocol. Here we go. Resistance training, specific protocols for bone health, bone loading exercises, how to load safely, complexity of movements versus machines, why movement patterns matter, and they really do matter. Not just getting in a machine, actually executing real movement. Circuit training for functional fitness, skill acquisition, balance, coordination, fall prevention. How often? How intense? What exercises? What's the DNA connection? The genetic factors involved in bone density. Because genetic factors are a part of muscle maintenance. How DNA testing reveals your specific risk factors. Personalized protocols are based on genetics, individuality. One particular client, female, who would be most predisposed to osteoporosis. What she did, and she did actually have a predisposition to osteoporosis, what she actually did is integrate bone loading. She did a lot of strength training in particular. So she did the deadlifts, the rack pulls, the sprint training, the squats, as well as the machine work, which had the leg press, the single leg press, walking lunges, etc. This was all lower body to upper body loading posterior chain for building muscle explosive fibers with bone density. And the outcome was an increase in bone density and an increase in muscle mass. Overall muscle mass was measured on a DEXA scan, which is totally accurate. It's 98.98% accurate, as far as I can remember. And there was an improvement across the board. The interesting factor about this is my client is only 38 years old, but 38 is middle-aged, because the average age that people live to now is 76. That's a fact. So 38 is middle-aged. So you're middle-aged. If you don't start doing something when you're 38, by the time you're 60, it may be too late. So 50% of people's lives change forever after a hip fracture. 40% don't survive. This is entirely preventable, not through medication, not through managing decline, through maintaining muscle mass and bone density. Maintain the muscle mass and bone density you have right now. Train now or pay later. The choice is yours. If you want to get in touch to speak about health consulting or DNA testing, My information is below in the description. See you in the next video. Okay, so that was scanning now.